afternoon everyone, and welcome to the If Knits Could Kill podcast. My name's Claire and I live in Ireland with my zoo. Today I wanted to do a roundup of all my makes from 2025. I know I'm late to the game, but I've had so much going on and there's always been people in the house, so I've not been able to podcast. I do really apologise for noises in the background, but the dogs are here, so I will try to cut out as and when I can any noises that they're making or if they start barking, etc. In 2025 I completed 62 projects. In 2025 I completed 62 projects. I really apologise, that's Callie in the background with her bone. She wants me to play. I completed 62 projects, 32,730 metres of yarn, which I'm literally so shocked about. I did not think that's how much I'd done. But today, I know that's a lot of projects, 62, so I'm only going to go over them very quickly, but I will put photos up, and there is some that are actually repeat ones, so that will knock out a few as well anyway. So shall we start from the top? So I would like to also choose my favourite projects for the year as well. I'm not going to go through the yarn. I'm sorry about the camera, the dogs are just running around the table. I'm not going to say about what yarn I used, but if you do want to find out, you can find me on Ravelry at If Knits Could Kill. I'm also on Instagram, If Knits Could Kill, and you will find everything in my projects on there about what yarn I used, if I made any changes to the pattern, etc, etc. So today is just a showcase of the patterns, and I will list all the patterns down below. So if you want to go and find that particular pattern, 99% of them are on Ravelry. There's only one that I had to buy off a website. So let's get cracking, shall we? So of all my 62 projects, 8 of them were blankets. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but you will have seen these blankets on my Instagram. I did not post them until after they were gifted. 90% of the things I made last year are for gifts. I do gift knit. That's my main aim, is to knit for other people. So of all the projects I finished last year, 8 blankets. The first one is what I'm calling Nina's blanket. This blanket was made via mosaic crochet. It was a chart that I had custom made, and it was a gift for a friend who's going through a very difficult time, and I wanted to send her something that'll make her remember that I'm thinking of her. This is a picture of her other half and her daughter. So I really enjoyed this one. I loved how it turned out, and I literally love mosaic crochet. So if you do subscribe, you will see lots more mosaic crochet and generally pictures, because that is my jam. The second one I'm going to show you is the Jolly Jumbo sock. This pattern is the one that's not on Ravelry. I've never ever done such thick yarn before, and I've seen this pattern on Instagram by Forever Cozy Knits. You will have to search for her on Instagram to find the pattern. It was fairly expensive. I don't know if she's updated the pattern yet. I got it cheaper, but not that cheap, because she'd only just released it and she hadn't added the tutorials in. Now, I don't think mine fully turned out how she was going to have it, because I didn't fully understand the pattern. But I decided to change it a little bit by knitting it how I would knit a sock. And with the yarn being so big, and you're supposed to use your hands and lie it down. Every time I turned it over, all the knitting would slip out. So I went out and I bought some draft excluders. I'll pop a picture up. And I cut the leather off from in the middle of it. I actually got them in Lidl for like $2.50 or something, or 2 for a $5. I cut the middle leather off, and I used them as large knitting needles, and I put half on one side and half on the other, like you would be working with 2 circular needles on a sock. And then I just did a short row heel on the ankle, and then I did just a rounded toe. I just knit it for as long as I wanted to knit it. My stitches aren't perfect, but I really enjoyed it. I gave it my daughter for Christmas, and her and her boyfriend can now get inside it and watch a film together on the bed. Now, obviously you can see how not perfect it is, but I did my best. My next blanket is the 4 Seasons temperature blanket. So this was my temperature blanket for 2024 that I didn't actually get to finish, because the way I'd worked it was I needed to do winter up to the middle of January 2025 because I'd gone off the times for Ireland of spring, summer, autumn and winter. So that made that it wasn't ready until January. So technically it was mostly made in 2024, but I finished it off in January. This pattern is by the Crochet Hook Cottage. Super mosaic crochet pattern. Really enjoyed it, and I did my 4 sections in different colours. My next one was a quick one. It was to just cover my legs as a lap blanket in the front room, and it's the Corner to Corner Throw by Catherine Watson. I had some leftovers from some other projects of Stylecraft Aran with tweed, I think it was, and I just sort of corner to corner crochet, and I just striped them wherever I felt like it to bring the colours in. And that went through pretty quick, and it's ended up now being a dog blanket because I've updated my blanket since. My next blanket I want to talk about is the Mexican blanket by Alexandra Tavel. I'm hoping I'm saying these names right. I'm really sorry if I'm murdering everybody's names. The Mexican blanket was a gift from my uncle for Christmas. I gave it him at Christmas and he absolutely loves it. I used drops Hernandez. I think that's how you say it. And it was so warm and cozy. So now I'm making my own, myself a blanket in the same yarn, because the yarn is just so cozy. The next one is, there's 2 from the same designer, so I'll say both of them. So first we've got the brown cat, and it's by Carmen, Hernandez, Regalado, I think you say your name. Sorry, Carmen, if I'm saying it wrong. I literally love this designer. And the white cat, also by the same designer. Both mosaic crochet, both 2 colours. Although in the white cat I decided to go for a variegated yarn in the background. They were both gifts for 2 friends for Christmas. The last of my blankets is the Amber Afghan. This was made with, I think it was like 13 balls of a, it was a Stylecraft, I think, a Christmas yarn. I hope it was Stylecraft. It'll be all in my projects anyway on my Ravelry. And I made this for my son and his girlfriend for Christmas as sort of like an ill blanket. I just kept going and going and going so both of them could fit underneath it and it can be on the couch. As I was a kid, we always had an ill blanket, and I wanted my kids to have the same, so I made them this one. But they don't just have to use it when they're ill, obviously they can use it any time of the year. Next I have, we'll move off blankets and we're on gnomes. So this knocks out 6 because I made 6 of MJ's Off the Hook Designs gnomes. So I'll pop a picture up of all 6 of these. As you can see, I really enjoyed making these, and they made fantastic gifts for Christmas. I even weighted them down inside with the poly beads in a bag, so that they could also be used as door stoppers or just to make them sit up, you know, and they didn't move anywhere. So that's 6 off my list. Next, let's move on to hats. So my first hat is the fourth hat by Ysolda Teague. I made this for my husband. It was a bit big. I'm not sure how I did it, but it was a bit big, so I know to size down next time. Then I made 2 angel hats by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. I really enjoyed this pattern. I've actually made another one since this year for another gift, which you'll see in my roundup next year. Next is the Bear Ears Beanie by Tara Marie. This was a baby gift for a new baby that's just been born. Super cute. Then we had the Musselburgh by Ysolda Teague. I have made this previously, and this was the second hat for my husband. This is the hat he prefers for work, so I just used a different colour. Then I tried the Building Blocks by Drops. It's a Drops design pattern. I used a yarn from Hobby, and I wasn't mad impressed with it. I ended up donating this to my charity to sell at the charity shop. Next, I had the Bankhead by Susie Gourlay. Love this pattern. I actually made this one when I was visiting my mum in England. It was so quick and easy, and this was also a gift for somebody as well. So it was a fantastic pattern. I really rate that one. Then I made the Alaska hat. This is a beautiful pattern with colourwork design. I really enjoyed this one, and I used a sheepies. I know I shouldn't call it sheepies, but on this channel I do. A sheepies like multicoloured yarn, and I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. Another gift. Next, I had the split back snowflake hat by Susan B. Anderson. Love this pattern. I will definitely make this one again. A bit of colour work, but super easy, and it just looks so cute, and when you wear it, it's snug and warm. I know the person who got it for Christmas really enjoys wearing it. Then I had the MT Airy Trail hat by Jinx Made. I made this hat to go with a cowl and mitt set. I didn't want them all the same. They didn't. I liked a certain pattern for the mitts, so I ended up making a different hat to match it. And yeah, that was a great pattern. Then we had the Spring Ahead beanie by Cozy Up Knits. A brilliant beanie. Really enjoyed this one. Then it was the I Heart Cables by Letesknit. I made this one in Drops Alaska, I think, in brown. This was also a gift for a friend. She volunteers with me at the shelter, and she's always on the outside cats. I call her Winnie from Mrs. Brown's Boys. She's really small. She's like a farmer's wife. And I made her this to keep her head nice and warm when she's outside with the cats. That's all the hats. Let's move on to cowls. So for cowls, I've got 6. I have 2 Strata by Margaret. There's no last name on it. There's no business name on it. But I really, really like this pattern. The first one I made for my mum. It went into her Advent. And my second one was made with my Vera Yarn Art Designs Advent calendar. I've got some of the yarn left, so I can use it for something else as well. But I made that one for a gift as well for Christmas. Next is the Crest of a Wave cowl by Rachel Fletcher. This was also a lovely gift. It's lovely and warm, and the person who received it really, really likes it. Next, I did the Flying Solo by Espace Tricot. This kind of bored me. I'm not great with rib. I don't like constant ribbing, and it just took forever. Great pattern, but I actually ended up donating this with the hat from earlier because it didn't turn out how I wanted it to. It didn't look anything like hers because I'd used the wrong yarn. It was a real funny yarn from Hobby, so I wouldn't be using that again. Nothing on the pattern, obviously. Next is the Brianate cowl. I don't know how you say it, by Stephen West. This was a gift from my husband, who subsequently said the yarn was too scratchy. I used Drops Fiesta and I ended up gifting this to somebody else. There was nothing wrong with it, but he's just so fussy. The last cowl is the Light as a Feather cowl by Katie Herrod. I actually made this to match some mitts that I made. She has matching mitts as well, so they both went off as a gift together. So that's all the cowls. Now let's move on to mitts. There was 8 pairs of mitts I made. 2 of those were the world's simplest mitts by Tincan Knits. I made 1 pair that were fingerless, and then I made the other pair as full mitts for Winnie, who I explained earlier, for the I Heart Cables hat. I matched these to go with the hat for outside work. The other ones were fingerless mitts for somebody else. Next, I had the autumnal mitts by Fibre and Threads. Really enjoy mitts that have some sort of thing going on with them. I'm not great with plain knitting. I do like a bit of pattern on, so I really enjoyed these ones. Next one was Ben's mitts by Dana Nelms. This was a pair of mitts that I actually made for somebody before Christmas, who I volunteer with, and she always said her hands were always cold, so I made a quick pair of mitts with Drops Fiesta, and she absolutely loves them. Then we had the Soccer Mitts by Ysolda. Another fabulous pattern if you just want a quick make. These were also a gift for Christmas. Then we had the Fingerless Gloves with Owls by Janice Frank. This was a gift for my auntie, and I put little beads in the eyes. You can't really see with the yarn I chose, but that's also Drops Fiesta, but she really, really likes them for walking the dog. Next, we had the Cloudburst by Ariana Gray Frank. These were a great make, and if I'm right, they're free pattern. But I used the wrong yarn. I wish I had used a different yarn, so these went with the set of the hat and the cowl that I made with the same yarn to donate to charity to be sold. The last one is the Mirror Mitts by Amber O'Brien. I actually got this pattern on the Feature Friday that she sends out on the newsletter every week to match the cowl, and that went off as a gift, and she absolutely loves them. I can knock 6 more makes out very quickly with my stockings that I made. So I made 6 stockings last year, and they were the Holiday Doodle stockings and the Folklore Christmas stockings. The Holiday Doodle stocking is from Jamie Lomax, but I actually used the Folklore Christmas stocking pattern by Woolen Knots for all of my stockings, but I just edited them as I needed to use. So you will see all the different you will see all my edits in my Ravelry project page. Really enjoyed these. I put names on all the top of them for the family, and it was absolutely fantastic. There is one Folklore stocking that I actually changed the design on, and it came from a sock design, which I can't remember off the top of my head which sock design it was, but I will put it on the screen here so you can see which one it was. That was a stocking for my mum. So there is 2 projects that I'm not going to mention, and that's because I don't want to upset anybody on here, but they were just gag gifts that I gave to people. So if you want to see them, you'll find them on my Ravelry. Then I made 20 pairs of socks in 2025. I was so impressed with that. So I'm going for 21 this year, which I'm fairly behind at the moment because I've got so many projects I want to get done. But let's run through them pretty quickly. So first we have the Comfort Core Socks by Summer Lee. Then we have the Solace by Annie Fletcher. Then the Little Mischief by Sandrine Voss. The DRK Everyday Socks by Andrea Mowry. The Hermione's Everyday Socks by Ysolda. The Hugny by Ysolda Teague. The Footnote Socks by Field Notes. The Mermaid Avenue Socks by Summer Lee. The Slip Rib Socks, also by Summer Lee. The Sheep Socks by Tiny Van Hengel. The Hiberno DK Socks by Summer Lee. The Twilight Garden Socks by Carolina Adamski. Then there was 2 pairs of Socksploration Shadows Heat Wrap Heel Socks by Earth Tones Girl. The Little Check Socks by Summer Lee. The Bear Paw Socks by Andrea Mowry. The Winter Magic Socks by Nitty Natty. The Christmas Tree Socks by Woolen Knots. The Petty Harbour Socks by Raina Curtis. And the Evergreen Socks by Madeline Gannon. So that was all my 20 socks from last year. Obviously there was a couple of vanilla here and there, but that's where I'm up to. Then I made 3 sweaters last year. The Bryant Ridge by Laura Ayla, I think it's how you say it. This was a gift for my mum, and she absolutely loves it. The only issue I had with it was I knitted it up and I didn't realise how much it was going to grow. So when I blocked it, it just like... So she loves it, but I've told her she needs to put it in a dryer to shrink it a bit because it's really long. The next was the Stripe Hype by Veronica Lindbergh. Literally love this pattern. I am definitely going to make another one. In different colours, and I wore this to the Dublin Fibre Festival and I got a lot of comments and I told a lot of people who the pattern was by. Then I had the Flax DK. This was by Tincan Knits and I used King Cole Fjord, and this was a jumper for my daughter who's probably grown out of it now because it was the beginning of last year when I made it. Nearly there now, nearly finished. I've just got a few accessories to talk about and a shawl. So the sweater, So I made a loopy ombre tree by MJ Off the Hook. This was another one of my mum's advent presents. And I sent her little baubles that I got off Temu. My daughter put hooks on them and she could hang them on the tree, and then these mini lights that I got from Temu as well, and she hung them on the tree and then she put a star on the top, so it was really cute. Then I made a float tote by Nitty Natty. She did a crochet along last year and I joined in, and this float tote is absolutely great. I used all my odds and ends of cottons that I had of cotton, Drops Paris, and I just mould them. I kept dropping one colour and putting a next colour with another colour, so then it just kept changing in the pattern, and yeah, it turned out great. Next I made 2 of Rachel's ISBN cabled hot water bottle cozies. These were both to gift and they were by Yana Gogo. Great hot water bottle cozy pattern, really quick, and if you use a nice chunky yarn they work up within a couple of days. It's absolutely great. Next I made the Wheat Stitch Pumpkin Spice Crochet Trio by Brianna K Design. I only actually made one because I ran out of yarn. I thought the 2 balls that I bought would make more than one, but it didn't. But I really liked the design. It was super quick and easy, and now I have it in the loft with all my other autumn stuff to put out when it's time to put them out again. I made 1 shawl last year, and that was a gift for my mum for her birthday, and that was the boho style mosaic shawl by Irene Lynn. This was a great pattern. I really enjoyed it. I tried a completely different yarn. I can't remember which it was, but like I say, everything's on my Ravelry, so you can have a look. And yeah, it's lovely and warm and cozy. And it was, I think that's the first pattern that I did that I was delving into knitted mosaic, because I hadn't actually tried that before. And I really enjoyed it. So then I made the Mexican blanket then for my uncle with the same idea, with the same stitch. So that's all my projects from 2025. Now I'm going to say what were my favourites. So my favourite blanket had to be Nina's. I so enjoyed making Nina's blanket. That was definitely my favourite, and the reaction I got from that blanket, just so heartwarming, and she was so thankful for it. I spoke to her the other day and she said they're thinking about putting it up on the wall somehow because they want it to be on the wall. They think it's too good to actually cover themselves with, and I said that's not what I made it for. But you know, I'm just so thankful that she loved it. It took me around 5 months, I think, 4 months maybe for that one. I kind of tried to get it done as quick as possible because I couldn't decide which yarn to use. So yeah, that's definitely my favourite blanket. Out of the hats, my favourite has to be the Alaska. I think it's a colourwork design. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I do want to make more of these, and I'd like to make myself one at some point. The cowls, I think I think my favourite would have to be the Brian 8 cowl. It's lovely and thick and warm, and I get bored if it's the same stitches constantly. So I think this one was my favourite because it was constantly changing and you were doing something else. So I didn't get bored at all. Closely followed by the Strata. That's the same as well. It's something different all the time. And I did make 2 of these because I like the pattern so much. Out of the mix, I've got to say, I really liked the Mirror Mitts. The Mirror Mitts was a lovely pattern. It seemed to work up really, really quick, and there was something interesting all the time going on with the lines. So yeah, I definitely will make them again. And when I tried them on, the fit was lovely. So yeah, I will definitely try them again. I'm not going to pick a stocking because they're all the same by what's on them, but all my kids chose what they wanted on the front of the stockings, so that was up to them what they had and what colours. They chose their own colours as well. My favourite socks, this one's going to be a hard one because I made a lot of socks last year and I don't like making the same thing twice. So let me see. I'm going to go with a good old favourite, Hermione's Everyday Socks by Ysolda. I've noticed a lot of people like this pattern, and I do too, and I actually think I do want to make another pair of these. I made these for the same friend that the blanket was for her advent calendar. I made 2 people's advent calendars last year, and I put 24 gifts in a box. I wrapped them all, and I did a song for the day, Christmas song for the day on the front, and there was a card inside, and on the back there was a treasure hunt. Well, it's not a treasure hunt, is it, because it was in the box, but it'd have the number of the parcel on it, and then it'd have like a little clue of what's in the parcel, and both people really, really enjoyed it, so I think I'll do that again. And yeah, one of her days was the Hermione Everyday Socks. So yeah, I think that would be my favourite sock pattern for that year. Sweaters, it's got to be the stripe hype. Absolutely love the stripe hype. Definitely make another one. In my next year's one, I finished one that I was working on all the way through 2025, and I only finished it in 2026, and it was just so boring. But with the stripe hype, because you're constantly changing colours and the yarn's thicker, I used Drops Lima, I think it was. It just went super quick, and that was actually my first ever sweater, and I really enjoyed it, and I definitely want to make another, but in different colours. Out of the accessories I made, my favourite has to be the wheat stitch pumpkin. It turned out so cute, and I definitely want to make more this year, and if I can get the yarn again. It was a orange, I think it was an orange style craft with tweed, and I haven't been able to find it since. So if I can find some more balls of that, I will make the other sizes of that. And then I can't pick the shawl because I only made one. So yeah, that is my roundup of everything I made in 2025. Sorry it's so late, but it's just been mental. Today is Bank Holiday Monday here in Ireland. It's the Easter weekend break, and I'm hoping to be back in a few days with my whips. So if you've liked this video, please hit subscribe and press the bell, and then you'll be notified when I come back on again. If you can also like my videos as well, that would be super helpful, because I am trying to get my name out there a bit more. I'm actually working on my own first pattern at the moment. I'm going to work on the crochet version first and then the knitted version. So at the moment I'm so excited to try it, but I'm so nervous because I've never actually tried to make a pattern before. I've made stuff that aren't from pattern and it's something that I've made, but I've never actually designed one to sell before. So I'm fairly nervous. My yarn's here. I've started crocheting it up. I've discussed it with my best friend, but we'll see how that goes. So thank you so much for watching today. It's been lovely to come back. I really enjoy podcasting. I'll hopefully be back in a few days with my whips, so please keep an eye out for my video, because I think it's 11 I have on my needles at the moment. I'm hoping that nobody is watching when I'm making gifts, because I'm making my Christmas gifts now, obviously, because I make so many Christmas gifts. I make them all the way through the year, but hopefully then people won't be watching, and if they are, then I'm afraid you won't see them until I've gifted them at Christmas. So yeah, thanks so much everybody for watching. Happy knitting, happy crocheting, and I'll see you again really soon. Thank you. Bye.